Can you please introduce yourself to the rest of the community?
I am Nagawa Gladys from Community Integrated Development Initiatives. I work in CIDI as the Policy Advocacy Officer. CIDI is a local NGO found in Uganda, in Kampala, helping and improving people's well-being in issues of water, hygiene and sanitation and agriculture, among others. CIDI for the past 2 years has been implementing the Governance and Transparency Fund program with an aim of building UASNet capacity members in the central region in issues of advocacy and policy, knowing their rights and entitlement in issues of water, hygiene and sanitation, then also helping them to advocate and lobby service providers for the most pressing issues that are affecting them in the areas of water, hygiene and sanitation. Since with support from DFID, CIDI has managed to build the capacity of their partner NGOs, who are 5, together with their community structures in issues of advocacy, policy rights, in water, hygiene and sanitation. And these partners have in turn also been able to build the capacity of their community structures because they realize that they can't work alone and they are few in terms of staff, so they needed a bigger group to join them in the fight, in the cause of improving water and sanitation in their areas. So they empowered the community structures who are doing voluntary work in their communities. They do policing in their communities, identifying the most pressing issues in relation to water, hygiene and sanitation, and forwarding them to the relevant stakeholders. But before that, CIDI carried out a mapping and enumeration exercise with an objective of knowing how the area is before its intervention. And this mapping was mainly focusing on issues of water, hygiene and sanitation, looking at issues of equity, looking at issues of quality, quantity, accessibility, affordability of water services, as well as sanitation services. The key findings that were got out of this mapping exercise were simplified into what we call a report card. The report card is a summary of those key findings that were got out in the communities. And it was formed with a basis that it could be used as an advocacy tool for our communities. And so far they've used it as a tool in certain areas where they've managed to lobby government to provide them with cost-proper technologies in water, like in Boy C3. Originally, they never had cheap water. They could buy water at 100 shillings, Ugandan shillings, which is 5 times the cost a rich person would buy water. But you can imagine a poor person buying it 5 times. But now, with this lobbying and using the evidence that they got from the report card, they've managed to get what we call the prepaid meter system, whereby they can access water at the same cost the rich people are accessing the water. They've even used these findings more to advocate even for other people to come in to intervene. Like others in Chebado have even got free fuel to help them to carry garbage from their areas where they are to the dumping site. CIDI carries out radio programs. We find that as the community structures were doing their work in the communities, there are certain issues that could not be solved in their community dialogues that could keep on coming, pressing them in relation to water, hygiene and sanitation, but then the solution was nowhere to be found. So we realized that there was need to provide them a large, bigger platform where they can put these issues onto the public agenda for public appeal and support. So we do this through the radio programs, and here we capture community voices which are edited and aired out on the program. Then we call the concerned people in relation to the issue that is going to be discussed on the radio program. Then thereafter, the communities use the action points that have been agreed in the radio programs as a benchmark for their follow-up and monitoring on these technocrats and the politicians. Then still, CIDI also does dialogues. These dialogues are different levels. Currently, we are doing them at the community level, where communities come up with their pressing issues and they call their service providers at that level. Then if an issue has failed to be handled or if it needs a higher level handling, then it is forwarded at the division, and then we try to see what can be done. Then sometimes we find issues which are more needed to be addressed at the national level. Like last year, there was an issue of sanitation not being prioritized. Since CIDI is working more in the urban settings, sanitation is a big challenge. So this issue could not be solved at the lower level. So what CIDI did was to document and work hand in hand with USNET, which is Uganda Water and Sanitation NGO Network, document this issue and try to see that USNET, as an umbrella organization, jointly puts forward that issue at the ministry level. And we may not say that CIDI is fully the sole accountable organization for that success, but at least we feel we contributed, because as we speak, now sanitation in this coming budget will be prioritized. It's one of the joint sector undertakings for the Ministry of Water this coming year.
That's fabulous. So now you're here at the GTF learning meeting, regional learning meeting in Africa. Just spent your first day. What is the most interesting thing you learned, or the most thing you enjoyed talking about most, or anything you want to share with others who want to know more about what we do at these learning and sharing meetings?
What I've learned most, actually, since this sharing meeting has brought people from different countries, not only East Africa, because usually the ones that I've attended were for East African countries, but I've even had participants from the West African regions. But I've seen, first of all, I've seen there is a similarity in how we do our work, but then I've also, because before we thought, actually for us at CIDI, we thought we are so good in documentation. And actually we thought, I think we're doing our level best. But from what I'm seeing and what I'm learning from other countries, I think there is more to it than what we've been doing. And actually we need to go back to our country and see how we can put in more efforts to document everything that we do, whether at the initial stage or at the process level, but not just wait at the end of the success story. Because even what we've realized is that some things may not actually be achieved within 1 year or two, but you might achieve them in a longer period, but we need to document every step that we move. Then I've also learned the issue of networking and collaboration, especially there is the one of, was it in the West Africa?
Koniwa.
Koniwas, where they have a very strong network. So I feel if we can learn more from them, we can see how we can strengthen also our Uganda network, USNet, and see how we can use it to lobby on our behalf, since it's a platform, a bigger platform for us.
That's great. Do you want to share anything else? Just say hello to everyone at Freshwater Action Network and WaterAid.
Well, I just want to thank WaterAid for the support that they've been giving us as CIDI, because with this support, it may not be that too big, but the support that we've gotten from WaterAid, both the financial and the other technical backup support, has helped us to build ourselves as CIDI more. It has elevated us to a certain level. Actually, before WaterAid's intervention, CIDI was not known anywhere in advocacy and lobbying. But because of its intervention, we are proud to say that CIDI is one of the partners in Uganda that is known when it comes to issues of advocacy, water, hygiene and sanitation. And we've even gained more skills, that we've even scaled up advocacy in water, hygiene and sanitation and rolled it into other sectors, like in agriculture, in our health department, in other areas where we're working. But all this is as a result of the support that you've got from WaterAid.
Great.
Uganda.
Thank you so much.